The coffee was cold, but I didn't care. I'd been sitting at the kitchen table for 47 minutes, watching the clock, waiting for the 7:30 pickup. The Kia Sedona across the street had been sitting there since 6, same as every Tuesday, same as every Thursday. That's when my phone buzzed. Tom, running late. Go ahead without me. I typed back, already at the restaurant. Leo's waiting. A lie. I was still in my robe. But I'd been lying to Tom for 3 weeks now, so one more didn't make a difference. I walked to his office, opened the middle drawer, pulled out the envelope. The Staples logo on the corner. I'd found it by accident, looking for his passport. I wasn't ready to open it yet. I wasn't sure if I ever would be. That's when the doorbell rang. Margaret, my mother-in-law, standing on the porch in the same lipstick she'd worn to her own wedding, and she said, "Robert's already there. He's got something to say to everyone." She smiled. I knew what that smile meant. I put the envelope in my purse and grabbed my keys. The restaurant was called the Bistro on Main, which meant nothing because every town within 100 miles had a bistro on Main. I'd been there a dozen times, for birthdays and anniversaries, and that one awkward dinner when Tom's firm tried to recruit a client who didn't show. It was the kind of place with white tablecloths and wine glasses that rang when you tapped them, where the waiters wore vests and the bread basket was refilled without asking. Margaret had insisted on it for Leo's graduation. "He deserves something nice," she said. "He got into state, Elena. State with a partial scholarship. That's not nothing." She was right. It wasn't nothing. It was everything Leo had worked for, and I was proud of him in a way that sat heavy in my chest, the kind of pride that made my throat tight. But Margaret didn't mean it the way it sounded. She meant it as a reminder. State was good, but Robert's alma mater was better. Robert's son, Tom, had gone to the private school. Robert's expectations were always a little higher than what any of us could actually reach. I'd learned that 22 years ago at my own wedding, when Robert made a toast about how Tom finally got married, like Tom had been waiting for me to catch up to him. I pulled into the parking lot at 6:50. The lot was packed, which was good because it meant I didn't have to talk to anyone outside. I could just walk in, find the table, and let the noise of the restaurant do the work of filling the silence. Leo was already there, sitting between his grandparents, looking uncomfortable in the jacket I'd bought him from the outlet mall. He was 18 and tall and had his father's jaw and my mother's eyes, and I could see him scanning the door for his dad. "Daughter, where's Tom?" he asked. "Daughter, running late. Work." Leo nodded, the same way he'd been nodding for years. Typical. I didn't correct him. There was nothing to correct. Robert was at the head of the table, Margaret to his right, then Leo, then 2 empty seats for me and Tom. Robert's brother Frank and his wife Patty were on the other side, along with their 2 daughters, and Tom's cousin Sarah had driven up from the city with her husband. 12 people, maybe 13. The kind of group that takes 2 waiters and a lot of bread. I sat down next to Leo. He leaned over and said, "Gran's been telling me about the landscaping." "Let me guess," I said. "The hydrangeas." The hydrangeas. Margaret's hydrangeas were a thing. She'd won some neighborhood award 3 years ago and hadn't stopped mentioning it since. I smiled at Leo and squeezed his hand under the table. He smiled back, that quick grin that still made him look 12, and I could have sat in that moment forever if Robert hadn't stood up. He clinked his glass. 3 taps. Crystal against crystal. The whole table went quiet. Even the waiters stopped moving. Robert was 73, retired from the insurance industry, with white hair that he combed straight back and a voice that carried without effort. He was the kind of man who filled a room without trying, and he knew it. He liked to make speeches, toasts, announcements. He'd given one at my wedding, one at Leo's baptism, one at every Thanksgiving for 20 years. I knew the cadence of his voice better than I knew my own husband's. "I want to say something," Robert said, "before we eat. About this young man." He gestured at Leo. "My grandson." Leo looked at me. I gave him a small nod. "Leo's been accepted to state. We're all proud. Margaret and I are proud. But I want to be honest. Honest in the way this family has always been. And I need to say something that's been on my mind since the day this boy was born." The table was quiet. I could feel Leo tensing next to me, his legs starting to bounce. I put my hand on his knee. He stopped. Robert smiled. It was a thin smile, the kind that didn't reach his eyes. He was looking directly at me. The baby doesn't look like my son, he announced. Nothing moved. Nobody breathed. I kept my hand on Leo's knee. He never did. Not from day one. I told Margaret the day he was born. I told Tom privately because a father needs to know. But I never told you, Elena, because I didn't want to hurt you. But now Leo's a man, and I think it's time we all face the truth. Leo's legs started bouncing again. I squeezed his knee harder. I'm not saying anything, Robert continued, except that I've had my doubts. And I can't sit here and toast this boy without saying what I think. That's not who I am. That's not who this family is. He looked around the table. Frank was staring at his plate. Patty was gripping her wine glass like she wanted to throw it. Sarah was openly gaping. Margaret was stone-faced, her lips pressed together, her hands folded in front of her like she was praying. Robert looked back at me. So I'm asking you, Elena, right now, in front of everyone, do you have anything to say, anything that might clear this up? I took my hand off Leo's knee. I reached into my purse. I pulled out the envelope. The Staples logo was still on the corner, creased from being folded in half. I'd been carrying it for 3 weeks. I'd known the date on the receipt. I'd known the lab in the city, the one that did testing on Saturdays, the one Tom had gone to when he thought I was at my mother's house. I had thought, in those 3 weeks, that I would never open it, that I would put it away somewhere and pretend I hadn't found it, that I would keep being the wife who didn't check, the wife who trusted, the wife who believed that loving someone hard enough would make them stop lying. I was wrong. I opened the envelope. I pulled out the pages. 3 sheets, folded together, with the seal on the top. I don't have anything to say, I said. But I have something to show you. I took Leo's napkin, the cloth one, and I unfolded it on the table. I smoothed the pages flat on top of it. Robert was watching me, still smiling, like he'd won something. This is a DNA test, I said. A paternity test. Tom took it without telling me. He must have done it while I was at Mom's. 3 weeks ago. He left the results in his office. I found them. Robert's smile flickered. What are you talking about? This is Tom's DNA, I said. And Leo's. The comparison. The results. I read the number out loud. 99.99%. Paternity confirmed. Leo is Tom's son. He always was. You were wrong. The table was dead silent. Leo was staring at the pages. I could see him trying to process it, his jaw tight, his hands flat on the table. But that's not all, I said. I turned to the second page. The one with the secondary finding. The one I'd read in the parking lot, sitting in my car, unable to move, unable to breathe, while the restaurant waited. The same test, I said, because it was a comprehensive panel, compared Tom's DNA against a larger database. It flagged a secondary match. Tom's DNA matches another child. Not Leo. A child born 14 months ago. I could have said more. I could have named her. I could have named the child. I could have stood up and screamed. I didn't. I looked at Tom's chair. Empty. His place setting was untouched. The wine glass was still empty. Tom's not here, I said. But I think everyone here deserves to know what he did. What he's been doing. For 14 months, at least. Probably longer. I looked at the waiter, who was frozen by the service station, holding a tray of bread. Excuse me, I said. Can you make copies of this for every table? He stared at me. Mom, every table, I said. I want everyone in this restaurant to see what's in this envelope. I want them to see the numbers. I want them to see the paternity match. And I want them to see the secondary match. The one that names his other child. The one who lives next door. The waiter didn't move. Please, I said. I'll pay for the copies. I'll tip you double. Just take these pages and copy them. One for every table. He took the pages. He disappeared toward the back. Robert was standing, his hands on the table, his face purple. You can't, Elena. This is private, I said. You just made a scene in front of our son. At his graduation dinner. You did that. Not me. You. I'm just showing everyone what you asked to see. Margaret stood up. She didn't say anything. She just looked at me, then at Robert, then at the door where the waiter had gone. The waiter came back. He was holding a stack of papers. He walked to the table closest to us, a family of 4, 2 kids, both in their teens, and handed them a copy. Then he walked to the next table. And the next. And the next. He moved efficiently, like he'd been doing this all his life. He handed them out like menus. People started reading. I heard a woman gasp. I heard a man say, "Holy shit." I saw a teenager pick up the page and turn it over like it was a homework assignment. Robert sat down. He looked old, suddenly. Folded into himself. Margaret reached for her water glass. She picked it up. She held it. She looked at Robert, the man she'd been married to for 46 years, the man who'd stood up at a restaurant and called our son illegitimate in front of everyone we knew. She threw the water in his face. Robert sputtered. Margaret, shut up, she said. Shut up right now. He shut up. The waiter handed out the last copy. He looked at me. I nodded at him. He walked away. I looked at Leo. His face was white. His hands were shaking. Mom, he said. What the hell? I'm sorry, I said. I didn't plan this. I didn't know he was going to. No, Leo said. The part about Dad. The other child. What do you mean the other child? I opened my mouth. Closed it. I hadn't planned to tell him like this. I hadn't planned to tell him at all. Not yet. Not on his graduation night. I was going to handle it quietly. Privately. I was going to pack my things and leave and tell him in a way that wouldn't shatter him. But Robert had stood up. Robert had clinked his glass. Robert had made it public. And I had made sure everyone else saw it too. I reached for Leo's hand. He pulled it away. Who's the other child? Mom, I looked at the restaurant. Everyone was looking at us. The copies were on every table now, passed from hand to hand, read and reread. I could hear whispers. I could hear my name. The neighbor, I said. Rebecca. Leo stood up. He pushed his chair back, so hard it hit the wall behind him. He looked at the table, at his grandfather with water dripping down his face, at his grandmother gripping the empty glass like a weapon, at me holding the pages that had just torn his life open. He walked out. I watched him go. I didn't follow. I couldn't. Robert was still sitting. Margaret was still standing. Tom's empty chair was still empty. I looked at the door. Leo was gone. I looked at the table. The copies were everywhere. I looked at the waiter. He was talking to his manager. The manager was looking at me. I didn't care. I picked up my purse. I left the pages on the table. I walked toward the door, past the family of 4, past the teenagers who were still reading, past the woman who'd gasped and the man who'd said, "Holy shit." I didn't look back. I walked out the door and into the parking lot, and I didn't stop until I reached my car. I leaned against the door. I pressed my forehead to the cool glass. My phone buzzed. Tom. Calling. He must have gotten a call. Or a text. Or maybe someone had sent him a photo of the copies being handed out. I didn't answer. The phone buzzed again. I turned it off. I got in the car. I sat there. I didn't start the engine. I thought about the first time I'd met Robert. 23 years ago. He'd looked at me like I was an intrusion, a temporary thing, someone who wouldn't last. He'd asked Tom, right in front of me, "Are you sure about this one?" And Tom had said yes. And for 22 years, I'd been trying to prove Robert wrong. And now I had the proof, the real proof, on pages that were sitting on every table in the bistro on Main. The proof that Leo was Tom's son. The proof that Tom had been lying. The proof that Robert had been wrong about me but right about his son, in the worst possible way. I sat in the dark for a long time. Then I started the car and drove home. The house was dark. Tom's car wasn't in the driveway. I walked inside and sat on the living room floor and waited. The waiter handed them out like menus. My mother-in-law threw water in his face. Robert was still standing, dripping, when I walked out the door. The house didn't feel empty. It felt like a trap that had already snapped shut. I sat on the living room floor with my back against the sofa, my purse still in my lap, the phone off in my hand. Everything was quiet. The kind of quiet that came after too much noise, the ringing in your ears that wasn't really there. I kept replaying it. Robert standing up. The glass. The words. Leo's face when he walked out. I didn't know how long I sat there. Long enough for my legs to go numb. Long enough for the light in the kitchen to shift from the street lamp outside. Long enough to realize I hadn't cried yet. I should have cried. That's what you did in moments like this. But the tears weren't coming. There was something else in me, something hard and cold, and it was sitting right beneath my ribs, pressing outward. I pressed my palm against it like I could push it back down. The front door opened. I heard the keys in the lock. I heard Tom's footsteps. He came in fast, the way he always did when something was wrong, like he could outrun it. The hall light clicked on. He saw me on the floor and stopped. Elena. I didn't say anything. Elena, what the hell happened? I got 40 calls. My dad called. My mom called. Leo's not answering. There were copies of something at the restaurant and people are talking about. He stopped. He must have seen the envelope in my hand. The empty envelope, because the pages were back at the restaurant. But he knew the envelope. He'd put it in his drawer. He'd hid it there. He'd thought I'd never find it. You found it, he said. 3 weeks ago. He stepped forward, then stopped again. He didn't sit. He didn't come closer. He stood in the doorway between the hall and the living room, half in light and half in shadow, like he was still deciding which side to be on. 3 weeks, he said. You've known for 3 weeks. 3 weeks and 2 days. I didn't think. He rubbed his face. I didn't think you'd open your mail, the mail you left in your office drawer, the one you didn't even think to hide somewhere better. I laughed. It came out wrong. Hollow. You really did think I was stupid. I never thought you were stupid. Then what did you think, that I wouldn't look, that I wouldn't notice, that I'd just keep cooking dinner and folding your laundry and pretending you weren't going next door to see her? He winced. It's not like that. Then what is it like? He started to answer, then stopped. He looked at the floor. I knew that look. It was his I'm choosing my words carefully face. I'd seen it for years. The pause before he told me he'd be late, the pause before he said it was work, the pause before every single lie that came out of his mouth. We shouldn't do this here, he said. Where else? Elena, come on. The restaurant, the copies, my parents, everyone saw everything. I need to figure out what's going on. I need to talk to my dad. I'll save you the trouble. Your dad stood up and said, Leo isn't yours. I pulled out the DNA test you left in your office. I asked the waiter to copy it. Everyone saw it. Everyone. And they also saw the secondary finding. He froze. What secondary finding? The one you didn't tell me about. The one where your DNA matched another child. Born 14 months ago. He stared at me. His face went through something I'd never seen before. It wasn't shock exactly. It was like watching a building collapse from the inside out. The structure of his expression just gave way. Elena. Tell me about the baby. Elena, please. Tell me about the baby. He moved into the room. He sat on the edge of the coffee table, facing me, close enough that I could smell the cologne he always wore. I'd bought him that cologne for his birthday 6 years ago. He'd worn it every day since. I thought it was loyalty. It was just convenience. She wasn't supposed to get pregnant, he said. She told me she was on birth control. She lied. Maybe. I don't know. It happened. Okay, it happened, and I didn't know what to do. I was going to tell you. I was trying to find the right way. You were trying to find the right way for 14 months. I was scared. Of what? Of this? He gestured between us. Of you leaving. Of Leo finding out. Of losing everything. You didn't think about losing it when you went next door. He pressed his palms against his knees. His hands were shaking. I noticed that. Tom's hands never shook. He was steady, that was the thing about him. Rock steady. It was why I'd trusted him. You don't question a man who looks like he's never doubted anything. I don't know what to say, he said. I don't have a good answer. Then don't say anything. But I want to explain. You can't explain it. You can't make it make sense. You can't tell me it meant nothing because it clearly meant something. You had a child with her. A real child. A person. He nodded slowly. She named him James. Oh my God. She named him after her father. I don't care what she named him. I don't care about her. I care about you. I care about the fact that you came home to me every night and slept next to me and told me you loved me while you had a child across the street. I did love you. No, you didn't. That hit him. I watched it land. His shoulders sagged a little. He didn't argue. We sat there for a long time. I could hear the clock in the kitchen ticking. I could hear the refrigerator humming. The normal sounds of the house, The sounds that didn't change, the sounds that were supposed to mean everything was fine. Do you want to see him? Tom asked. See who? James. The baby. No. Elena, he's just a kid. Don't. I pointed at him. Don't you dare try to make me feel bad about a child that isn't mine. A child you had with someone else. A child you kept from me for over a year. You don't get to ask me to feel anything about that child. I'm not asking you to feel anything. I'm just asking you to what? He didn't finish. I'm going to ask you something, I said. And I want you to tell me the truth. Not the version you think I want to hear. Not the version that makes you feel better. The truth. He nodded. Does he come here after you put the baby down, or before? What a Rebecca. Does she let you in before the baby goes down, or after? Because I know you're not going over there during the day. Mark works from home. I see his car. So it's nights, right? When she puts the baby down and she tells Mark she's going to bed, and she leaves the door unlocked for you. Tom swallowed. How long were you going over there before she got pregnant? I don't know. I know you know. How long? He looked at the floor. 6 months. Maybe a little longer. 6 months. Elena, it wasn't before or after. Before. It was before. She got pregnant near the end. So you were sleeping with her for 6 months. And then she got pregnant. And then you kept sleeping with her. That's not. Is it true or not? He didn't answer. I stood up. My legs were numb, but I stood anyway, leaning against the sofa. I walked to the kitchen. I needed space. I needed something to do with my hands. I opened the fridge, closed it. Opened the cabinet. Closed it. Tom followed me. He stood in the kitchen doorway, the same spot he always stood when we had arguments. The same posture. Hands in his pockets. Head slightly down. Like he was sorry. Like he was waiting for me to stop being upset so we could go back to normal. There is no normal, I said. I want you to understand that. There's no going back. Elena, don't say that. Don't tell me what to say. I'm not telling you what to say. I'm telling you, I want to fix this. Fix it. How do you fix it? He didn't have an answer. Because you can't, I said. You can't fix it. There's a baby across the street. There's a woman you slept with for months. There's a secret you kept from me and a test you took and lied about, and now my son hates me. He doesn't hate you. He walked out. He was shocked. We all were. You were shocked. You were shocked that I had the test. You were shocked that I found it. You were shocked that I told everyone. But you weren't shocked that I knew. Because deep down you knew I'd find out eventually. You knew it was going to happen. You just hoped it would happen later. Maybe. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't want you to say anything. I leaned against the counter. I was exhausted. Not sleepy. Just drained. Like something inside me had been pulled out. What time is it? Almost 11. Leo's not home. I'll call him. I already tried. He's not answering. I'll call again. I've been calling for hours. He's not picking up. He's not picking up for anyone. You said your parents tried. They called me. They didn't reach him. Then he's turning off his phone. Or he's with friends. Or he's somewhere we don't know about. I'll go look for him. Where? Tom hesitated. I don't know. The school. The park. Somewhere. Just stay here. I can't just stay here. Yes, you can. You can stay here and wait. That's the least you can do. Wait. He stood there. I knew he wanted to argue. I knew he wanted to move, to do something, to prove that he was trying. But he didn't have a leg to stand on. He'd lost that right. Fine, he said. I'll wait. I walked past him to the living room. I sat on the sofa. He sat in the armchair across from me. We didn't look at each other. The television was off. I could see my reflection in the dark screen. I want to know one thing, I said. Okay. When you went there, to the lab, did you go alone? Yes. Did you plan to tell me if the results came back differently? He didn't answer right away. I watched his face. I don't know, he said. Don't know. I was going to see what they said first. See what they said. Elena, I wasn't sure. I had doubts. Doubts. Not about Leo, he said quickly. I never doubted that. I didn't. But when my dad started saying things, your dad started saying things. He thought there was something. He thought Leo looked like what? Tom pressed his lips together. He thought Leo looked like someone else. I stood up. I need to go outside. Elena, just stay here. Stay here and wait for your son. I walked to the front door. I didn't put on shoes. I opened the door and stepped onto the porch. The air was cool, October cool, the kind of cool that smelled like leaves and wet pavement. I sat on the porch step and put my head in my hands. The street was quiet. The Kia Sedona wasn't there. Rebecca's house was dark, except for a light in the upstairs window. I could see the shadow of someone moving. Rebecca. Or Mark. Or the baby. I didn't know. I didn't care. I hadn't cried yet. I realized that again. I hadn't cried and I wasn't going to. I looked at the house. The house I'd lived in for 20 years. The porch I'd sat on with Tom when we were newlyweds. The door I'd walked through 1,000 times. I was going to leave it. I already knew that. I'd known it the moment I saw the word secondary on that page. But I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know how. I just knew I couldn't stay. The front door opened behind me. Tom. Go inside, I said. I can't. Go inside. I'm sorry, Elena. I'm so sorry. Stop apologizing. I mean it. I said stop. I turned around and looked at him. What do you want me to do with your apology? What am I supposed to do with it? It doesn't change anything. I know. Then why are you saying it? He opened his mouth, then closed it. He didn't know. He didn't have an answer. That was the thing about Tom. He always wanted to say the right thing, but he never knew what it was. He just kept talking until something stuck. Leo called, he said. What? Leo just called. He's at Sarah's place. He's going to stay there tonight. Sarah. His cousin. The one who was at the restaurant. Yeah. He saw everything. He talked to her. She's going to stay with him. Did he say anything else? Tom shook his head. He just said he wasn't coming home. He said he needed time. He needs time. Of course he needs time. He also said. Tom trailed off. What he said, he's not sure he wants to see me. I didn't say anything. I'd expected that. I'd known when Leo walked out that he wasn't just leaving the restaurant. He was leaving his father. I don't know what to do, Tom said. Neither do I. I don't want to lose him. Then you shouldn't have done what you did. He stepped back. I could see the words land. I meant them. I'd been meaning them for 3 weeks. I'm going to sleep in the spare room. I said. The spare room. Yes. You're not going to leave tonight. I looked at him. Where am I going to go? Leo isn't here. I'm not going to drive to Sarah's house in the middle of the night and drag him home. I'm not going to get a hotel. I'm going to sleep in the spare room, because the bed in the master bedroom has your smell on it, and I can't sleep in your smell right now. He stepped back further. I stood up from the porch and walked past him, into the house, down the hall, to the spare room. I closed the door behind me. I lay on the bed. The room was dark. I hadn't slept here since we'd moved in. The room was for guests. For Tom's parents. For my mother. For the nights when someone needed a place to stay. It never occurred to me I'd need it for myself. I stared at the ceiling. I didn't hear Tom go to bed. I didn't hear him move at all. I woke up at 4 in the morning. I didn't know if I'd slept. I didn't remember sleeping. I just opened my eyes and there was light coming through the blinds, pale and gray, and I knew I'd been unconscious, but not resting. I got up. I walked to the kitchen. Tom was sitting at the table with a cup of coffee. His eyes were red. He looked like he'd been sitting there all night. Did you sleep? No. Did you call anyone, Sarah? She said Leo fell asleep on the couch. He's okay. He's okay. Physically. That's the best we can hope for right now. Tom nodded. He didn't meet my eyes. I'm going to take a shower, I said. Then I'm going to call my mother. Then I'm going to work. Work. Yes. Work. I'm going to work. Elena, you can't. I can. I will. I'm not hiding in this house. I'm not taking a day off because you decided to ruin our family at a restaurant. I'm going to work. I'm going to pretend I'm fine. And when people ask me what happened, I'm going to tell them the truth. What are you going to tell them? I stopped in the doorway. I'm going to tell them that my husband had a child with the neighbor. And his father tried to shame me for it. And I made sure everyone knew. I walked to the shower. I turned on the water. I stood under it for a long time. The water was hot. The hottest I could stand. I let it run over my face, over my shoulders, down my back. I stood there until the water started to cool. I didn't move. I got out. I dressed. I walked to the living room. Tom was still sitting at the kitchen table, his coffee cold now, the cup untouched. I'm leaving, I said. I'm going to work. I'll be home after. I'll be here. Fine. I walked to the door. I didn't look back at him. The drive to work was familiar, the same streets, the same lights, the same turn off the highway. I pulled into the parking lot of the building where I'd worked for 16 years. The same building. The same parking spot. The same everything, except nothing was the same. I walked in. The receptionist looked at me. She knew. Of course she knew. The copies had been in her email by midnight. I'd texted them to myself from the restaurant. Someone else had sent them to the office. Elena, she said. Good morning. Elena, are you okay? I'm fine. You don't look fine. I said I'm fine. She didn't push. She let me walk past. I went to my office. I closed the door. I sat at my desk. I opened my computer. My inbox had 83 emails. 70 of them were from people I worked with. The other 13 were from people I didn't. I deleted every single one without reading. I started working. I was good at it. I was good at compartmentalizing. I was good at focusing. I pulled up the quarterly reports, the ones I'd been working on for weeks. I started editing. I started making calls. I did my job. At noon, my door opened. Diana. My boss. She was 53, with gray hair and a voice that could make anyone in a meeting stop talking. She looked at me with something that was almost pity, but not quite. It was something closer to recognition. She'd been divorced. She knew. Elena, she said. I heard what happened. Everyone heard what happened. Can I sit? I nodded. She sat across from me. I'm not going to ask how you're doing. I can see how you're doing. You're doing exactly what you should be doing. You're working. Thank you. But I need to ask you something. I waited. Mark called. From the building across the street. He heard about the situation. Mark. Rebecca's husband. I didn't say anything. He's not going to come to this building, Diana said. He's not going to bother you. But he's called the front desk twice. He wants to talk to you. I looked at Diana's face. Calm. Professional. Waiting. I don't want to talk to him. I told him that. He said he'd wait. He said he'd be in the coffee shop downstairs until 5. Then he's going to be there for a long time. Diana nodded. I also need to tell you something else. That report you submitted last month, the one on the Hanover project. What about it? Clive tried to take credit for it. I sat up straighter. What he's been telling the senior partners that the analysis was his. That you only contributed supporting work. Supporting work. I wrote the entire thing. I worked on it for 3 weeks. I know. Diana's voice was quiet. But Clive is a senior vice president. He's been here longer than both of us. He's going to get the benefit of the doubt. Not if I stop him. There's no hard evidence. He covered his tracks. He submitted a separate file with his name on it. It looks like you copied from him. Copied from him. I believe you, Elena. But believing you and proving it aren't the same thing. I stared at the window behind her. The sky was gray. The light was flat. Do you have anything else? I asked. Just this. Diana slid a folder across the desk. The Hanover contract. The original. Signed. With Clive's signature on the approval page. And the page that comes before it, the page with my notes. The notes where I told him to work with you. I opened it. I saw my writing. I saw Diana's. I saw Clive's signature on the approval page, the one he'd tried to make disappear. Where did you get this? From my files. I keep everything. You know that. I looked up at her. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. He's still going to fight. But I wanted you to have it before you did anything rash. I closed the folder. I put it in my desk drawer. I'm not going to do anything rash, I said. I'm just going to wait. For what? For the right moment. Diana stood up. That's what I thought you'd say. She walked to the door. She paused with her hand on the handle. Elena. Yes, you can take the rest of the day. If you want. I'll cover for you. I don't want to take the rest of the day. I know. But I thought I'd offer. Thank you. She left. The door closed behind her. I sat in my office until 5. I worked. I answered calls. I typed emails. I did everything I was supposed to do. At 5, I packed my bag. I walked out of the office. I walked to the elevator. I pressed the button for the ground floor. The coffee shop was still open. I could see through the glass. Mark was sitting at a table in the corner. He looked up. He saw me. He didn't move. I didn't move. I walked past the coffee shop. I walked out the front door. I didn't look back. The parking lot was empty except for my car. I got in. I turned the key. I sat there for a long time, the engine running, the heater blowing warm air. I thought about Mark. About what he might say. About the look on his face when he saw me, the one that wasn't anger or pity, something else. Something that made me feel like I was supposed to be on his side. I wasn't on anyone's side. I drove home. The house was dark. Tom's car was in the driveway. I walked inside and found him sitting in the same armchair, in the same position, like he hadn't moved in hours. Mark showed up at my work, I said. Tom sat up. What? He called the front desk. Twice. He sat in the coffee shop until 5. What did he want? He didn't say. I didn't talk to him. Elena, he might, I don't care what he might. He's not my problem. You are. Tom looked at his hands. Did you sleep today? I asked. No. Did you eat? No. Did you call Leo? Yes. He said he's staying at Sarah's again tonight. He said not to come. Then you shouldn't come. I'm not going to. Good. I walked to the kitchen. I opened the fridge. I pulled out a bottle of water. I stood there, drinking it slowly. I can't stay here forever, I said. I know. You need to figure out what you're going to do. Figure out where you're going to go. Tom looked at me. His face was gray. You're asking me to leave. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. You can't stay here. I can't be in this house with you. Not right now. Not like this. Tom stood up. He walked to the kitchen. He stood on the other side of the counter. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. Go to your parents. Go to Rebecca. Go to a hotel. Just get out. I'm not going to Rebecca. Then go somewhere else. I don't have anywhere else. Then figure it out. He didn't move. You're really doing this, he said. I'm really doing this. He opened his mouth. Closed it. He looked like he was going to try again. Don't, I said. Don't what? Don't ask me again. Don't ask me to reconsider. Don't ask me to understand. I understand. I understand everything. I understand that you were gone when I was at my mother's funeral. I understand that you missed my birthday 3 times. I understand that you came home late every Tuesday and Thursday, and you told me it was work. I understood it all. I just didn't want to say it. Tom's face crumpled. I'd never seen him look like that before. I walked away. I went back to the spare room. I closed the door. I lay on the bed. He kept saying, I can explain, and I kept thinking, he's had 14 months. He never did. I woke up before dawn again. Same time. Same pale gray light. Same absence of sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to the house breathe. It was a big house, old bones, creaks and sighs that I'd learned to ignore over 20 years. Now every sound felt like an accusation. I got up. I dressed. I walked to the kitchen. Tom's suitcase was by the front door. He'd packed it sometime during the night, and I'd heard him. I'd heard him opening drawers, closing them, the careful sound of someone who didn't want to be heard. I'd stayed still in the spare room, not asleep, just waiting. I didn't know what I was waiting for. Maybe for him to knock on the door. To try one more time. He hadn't. He was sitting at the kitchen table. His coffee cup was in front of him. He looked exactly the same as he had the night before, same red eyes, same exhausted slump. Like he'd aged 10 years in 2 days. Where are you going? I asked. A hotel. There's one near the office. The one with the red sign. Fine. I'll get some clothes. I'll figure out the rest. Fine. He stood up. He walked toward the door. He stopped with his hand on the suitcase handle. Can I call Leo? You can try. I mean, can I call him from the hotel? Would that be okay? I don't care what you do. I just want to talk to him. Then talk to him. I don't know if he'll answer. Then don't call. He stood there. I could see him trying to read my face, looking for something. I didn't have anything to give him. I'm going to go, he said. Good. He picked up the suitcase. He walked out the door. I heard his car start. I heard it pull away. And then I was alone. The house was too quiet. I walked through it, room by room, touching things. The kitchen table where we'd eaten breakfast. The living room sofa where we'd watched movies. The hallway where Leo had learned to walk. The bedroom where I'd slept next to Tom for 19 years. The bed was unmade. His pillow still had the indent of his head. I stripped the sheets and put them in the washing machine. I didn't know what else to do. I called my mother. Elena. Her voice was thin and old and worried. I've been waiting for you to call. I heard about the restaurant. I heard about everything. Everyone heard about everything. What's happening? Are you okay? I'm okay. You don't sound okay. I'm not okay. But I'm functioning. Is Tom there? No. I kicked him out. There was a pause. My mother didn't approve of things like that. She'd been married to my father for 42 years before he passed, and in 42 years she'd never once raised her voice. She believed in patience. Endurance. The kind of love that outlasts everything. He's staying at a hotel, I said. He's not coming back. Elena, are you sure you want to do that? Yes. I'm sure. You've been together for so long. I know. Maybe you should take some time. Think it through. I've been thinking it through for 3 weeks. And before that, I was thinking it through for 2 years. 2 years, I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what. But I knew. I just kept telling myself it was work. It was stress. It was the mortgage. It was everything except him. My mother was quiet for a long time. I'm sorry, she said. Don't be sorry. You didn't do anything. I'm sorry for you. For what you're going through. Thanks. Can I come over? I can be there this afternoon. No. I need to be alone. Elena, I need to be alone. I need to think. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. Okay. Can you check on Leo for me? Call Sarah. Make sure he's okay. Of course. I'll call you later. I hung up. I walked to the dining room. The table was still set from dinner 2 nights ago. The plates were still there, the ones I'd used for the last family dinner. I'd left them out because I'd been too tired to put them away. They were stacked in the dishwasher now, but I hadn't run it yet. A half-empty glass of wine still sat on the counter. The wine I'd opened when I got home from the restaurant, the one I'd meant to drink but hadn't. I poured it down the sink. I went to my room. I opened my closet. I looked at my clothes. The ones I'd worn to work, the ones I'd worn to dinner, the ones I'd worn to every event of our marriage. They felt like costumes now. I sat on the bed. The phone rang. I didn't recognize the number. I answered anyway. Elena. It's Mark. I didn't say anything. Mark. Rebecca's husband. From across the street. I know who you are. I need to talk to you. I know. You came to my work. I was hoping you'd come down. I know that was a lot. I'm sorry. What do you want? I want to talk about what happened. I want to tell you what I know. I already know what I need to know. No. You don't. You know about the test. You know about Tom. You know about the baby. You don't know about me. You don't know what I've been living with. I didn't want to hear what he had to say. I didn't want to hear about his marriage, his pain, his wife, his baby. I had my own pain. I didn't have room for anyone else's. But I didn't hang up. What do you mean? I asked. Can I come over? Just for a few minutes. I'll leave if you tell me to. I looked out the window. I could see his house across the street. The same gray siding, the same black shutters, the same driveway where his car was parked. I'd been looking at that house for years. I'd waved at him from the porch. I'd given Rebecca a cutting from my rose bush. She'd said she'd plant it in her garden. She'd never planted it. Fine, I said. Come over. I hung up. I went to the front door. I opened it. I stood on the porch and waited. Mark crossed the street. He was tall, 44 maybe, with thinning hair and glasses. The kind of man who looked like a dad. The kind of man you'd trust. The kind of man who wouldn't know his wife was cheating on him. He walked up to me and stopped. He didn't step onto the porch. He stood at the bottom of the steps. I don't want to come in, he said. I just want to talk. Talk. The restaurant. The copies. I saw them. Someone texted them to me. I saw the secondary finding. The part about James. James. Your son. Your husband's son. I nodded. How long? I asked. I don't know exactly. She told me a few months ago. She said she was going to break it off. She said it was a mistake, that she didn't mean for it to happen, that she'd end it and we'd work on our marriage. I believed her. Did she end it? I don't know. I thought she did. She said she did. But then the DNA test, the one your husband took, it flagged the baby. It came up as a secondary match. And I realized she'd been lying. She's been lying to you. To me. To my daughters. To everyone. Mark looked at his shoes. I don't know what to do. Neither do I. The girls are 8 and 10. They know something's wrong. They've been quiet. They've been hiding in their rooms. Rebecca told them it was stress. Work stress. They're too young to understand. Leah's not too young. He's 18. He understands everything. Is he okay now? Mark nodded. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. He stopped. We're both going through the same thing. The same people did this to us. Tom and Rebecca. They did this. They did. And I need to know, he looked up at me. His eyes were wet. Did you know before the restaurant? Did you know about them? I thought about it. Did I know? I'd known something was wrong. I'd known Tom was lying. I'd known he was pulling away from me. But I didn't know the shape of it. I didn't know her name. Not until the day I found the envelope. No, I said. I found the test 3 weeks ago. That's when I knew. But I didn't know before that. Not for sure. I found out 2 months ago. She told me she'd been seeing someone. She didn't tell me who. She said it was over. She said we could get through it. I thought I could get through it. I thought I could forgive her. But then I found out it was Tom. That he was right across the street. That he'd been coming over for months. Months. 6 months, according to Tom. Mark's face went dark. He told you that, yes. 6 months. Before the baby. And after. He leaned against the porch railing. He looked like he was going to be sick. I should have known, he said. I should have figured it out. They weren't that careful. She left her phone out. She texted him in front of me. I just didn't want to see. I know. I didn't want to see. He stayed there, leaning against the railing, taking slow breaths. I didn't move. I didn't go to him. I didn't reach out. Are you going to leave her? I asked. I don't know. Either you will or you won't. I know that. I just don't know if I can. The girls. The baby. I don't want to be the one who walks away. She's the one who walked away. Not you. She did it in a different way. But she's still here. She's still in the house. She's still making breakfast and packing lunches and acting like everything is fine. Acting. That's the worst part. The acting. She does everything she used to do. She makes dinner. She holds my hand. She says she's sorry. But I don't know if she's sorry she did it or sorry she got caught. I did know. I knew the difference. I'd been watching Tom for 2 years. I think you know too, I said. He didn't answer. I need to tell you something, he said. Something I didn't tell anyone. What she told me where they met. Not at a bar. Not at work. At the gym. The one on the corner of 5th. She went to his spin class, and he was there, and they talked. It went on for weeks before anything happened. They were just talking. She said it felt like someone finally saw her. She said that to you. He asked her how it started. And she told him. Then it's not a secret. No, but I'm telling you because I think you should know. He didn't just go next door. He went out of his way. He planned it. He went to a gym he'd never been to. He started going to classes he'd never taken. He did all of that. It wasn't an accident. I didn't say anything. The gym. I remembered. 2 years ago, Tom told me he'd joined a gym. He said he needed to get in shape. I'd believed him. He'd bought new sneakers and a gym bag, and he'd left the house at 6 in the morning, 3 times a week. I'd been proud of him. That's how it started, I said. That's how it started. 2 years ago. 2 years. I sat on the porch step. I'd been standing this whole time, but suddenly my legs didn't want to hold me. I felt like I was falling. Not fast, not all at once, but falling in a way that had been happening for years, and I'd only just noticed. 2 years, I said again. Mark sat down next to me. Not close. Not touching. Just there. I'm sorry, he said. Don't be sorry. I'm not. I'm sorry for you. You said that. I mean it. I looked at him. He looked as tired as I felt. We were the same. Same age range. Same situation. Same choice in front of us. Are you going to tell him? Mark asked. Tell who of them? Together. Are you going to confront them? I already did. At the restaurant. I mean, together. You and me. Are we going to talk to them together? I thought about it. Rebecca in her house. Tom in his hotel. The two of them, separately, in their separate rooms. And us. The left behind ones. No, I said. I'm not doing anything together. Okay. I'm doing it on my own. I understand. He stood up. He walked down the steps. He turned around at the bottom. I'm going to file for divorce, he said. I decided last night. I haven't told her yet. But I'm going to. Good. I don't know why I'm telling you. Maybe because you're the only person who understands. I nodded. He turned and walked back across the street. I watched him go into his house. I watched the door close behind him. I went inside. I closed the door. I leaned against it. 2 years. Tom had been going to a gym. He'd bought new sneakers. He'd kiss me goodbye in the mornings. He'd come home smelling like the gym, like soap and sweat, and I'd thought nothing of it. I'd been a fool. I walked to the office. I opened the middle drawer. The envelope was gone, but the receipt was still there, crumpled at the bottom of the drawer. The lab. The date. The amount. He'd paid cash. He'd taken the test on a Saturday. The same Saturday, I'd gone to my mother's house to help her clean out the basement. He'd told me he had work. He'd told me he'd be late. He'd been at a lab. I sat at his desk. I opened the laptop. His password was still the same. Leo's birthday. He'd never changed it. I'd known it for years. I opened his email. I searched for the lab. There it was. The appointment confirmation. The results link. He'd opened them on his phone, but he'd also emailed them to himself. The same page I'd printed, the same page I'd copied, the same page that was now on every table in the restaurant. I looked at the email again. The subject line, results as requested. The message was blank. Just the attached file. I looked at the date. 3 weeks ago. A Saturday. He'd known for 3 weeks that Leo was his. He'd known for 3 weeks that he had a child across the street. He'd known and he hadn't said anything. He just kept going to work, kept coming home, kept kissing me goodnight. How do you kiss someone when you're carrying that kind of secret? I didn't know. I closed the laptop. I went to the kitchen. I poured another glass of wine. I drank it. I poured another. My phone buzzed. Tom. I ignored it. It buzzed again. I ignored it. It buzzed a third time. I picked it up. Hello. Elena, it's Sarah. Leo's cousin. Leo wants to talk to you. My heart stopped. Put him on. A pause. Then Leo's voice. Tired. Quiet. Mom. Leo. Are you okay? I'm okay. Are you really okay? I don't know. I'm not hurt. I don't know. That's okay. You don't need to know. You just need to be safe. Are you safe? I'm safe. I'm at Sarah's. I know. I know. When are you coming home? I don't know. I don't want to see Dad. You don't have to. He's not here. He left. He's staying at a hotel. Did you kick him out? Yes. Good. I heard him exhale. Relief, maybe. Or just the sound of someone who'd been holding his breath for too long. Mom, what happened at the restaurant? I don't understand. Granddad said, your grandfather was wrong. He was wrong about everything. I showed them the test. You're Tom's son. You always were. But Dad had another child. Yes. With a neighbor. Yes. Did you know? Not until I found the test. Not until 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. I didn't tell you because I didn't know how. I didn't want to ruin your graduation. Mom. I know. You didn't ruin my graduation. Granddad did. He did. But I shouldn't have done it there. I shouldn't have shown everyone. I shouldn't have involved you. It's fine. It's not fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Sarah's letting me stay. She's making me dinner. She's being nice. Sarah's good. Mom. What are you going to be okay? I looked at the wine glass in my hand. Half empty. The table where Tom had sat. The house where we'd lived. I'm going to be okay, I said. I don't know when. But I'm going to be okay. Promise, I promise. Silence. I could hear him breathing. I could hear Sarah talking in the background. I should go, Leo said. Sarah's calling me for dinner. Okay. I love you. I love you too. He hung up. I sat at the table. The phone was warm in my hand. I set it down. I didn't have the right to promise him that. I didn't know if I was going to be okay. But I said it anyway. Because he needed to hear it. Because I needed to say it. I went to the bathroom. I looked at myself in the mirror. The same face. The same hair. The same wrinkles around my eyes. I looked older. I looked tired. I looked like someone who'd been married to a liar. I ran the water. I splashed it on my face. I dried it. I stood there for a long time. My phone buzzed again. I ignored it. It buzzed again. I looked at the screen. Tom. Again. Calling from the hotel. I thought about answering. I thought about yelling at him. I thought about telling him everything I'd been holding in for 2 years. I didn't. I put the phone face down on the counter. I walked to the spare room. I lay on the bed. The night stretched out in front of me. Long, empty. Quiet. I didn't sleep. I thought about the gym. The one on the corner of 5th. I thought about Tom buying new sneakers. I thought about him telling me he was getting in shape. I thought about the way he'd kissed me goodbye, the way he'd said love you like it was nothing, like it was air. I thought about Rebecca. Her rose bush. The one she'd promised to plant. I thought about her standing in her kitchen, making dinner, waiting for him to come back. I thought about Mark. Sitting on my porch, telling me he'd file for divorce. I thought about Leo. His face when he walked out of the restaurant. And I thought about myself. The person I was going to be. The person I'd been. The person I was becoming. I didn't have a name for her yet. I got up at 5. I showered. I dressed. I called the office and left a message for Diana. I told her I'd be late. I told her I needed to take care of something. I got in my car. I drove to the gym on 5th. The parking lot was empty. The sun was just coming up. I sat in the car and waited. At 6, a woman walked out the front door. Blonde. Fit. Short ponytail. She was wearing yoga pants and a jacket. She got into a silver Subaru. She pulled out of the lot. I didn't follow her. I got out of my car. I walked into the gym. The front desk was staffed by a kid in a polo shirt. He looked at me. Can I help you? I'm here to ask about a member, I said. Tom. Tom Edwards. He's been coming here for 2 years. The kid looked at his computer. Tom Edwards. Yes, he's in the system. Does he come regularly? Usually 3 times a week. Morning classes. Which classes? Spin class. And sometimes yoga. The 6:15 ones. Yoga. Yes. The instructor's name is Rebecca. Is it? Yes, ma'am. She teaches the morning class. Is that okay? I nodded. That's okay. That's exactly what I needed to know. I turned around. I walked out of the gym. I got in my car. I sat there for a long time. 2 years. He'd been going to yoga. He'd been going to spin class. He'd been going to see her. I'd been at home, making breakfast. I'd been at work, earning money. I'd been in the house, sleeping in his bed. And he'd been here. I drove to the office. I walked to my desk. I opened my computer. I pulled up the Hanover contract. I read Diana's notes. I read Clive's signature. I looked at the folder in my desk drawer. The one Diana had given me. The one with the proof. Clive wanted to take credit for my work. He thought I was weak. He thought I'd just take it. He thought I'd crumble. He was wrong. I stood up. I walked to Diana's office. I knocked. Come in. I opened the door. Diana was at her desk, reading something on her screen. Elena. I thought you were going to be late. I was. But I changed my mind. Are you okay? I'm fine. I sat across from her. Clive. The Hanover contract. He's going to try to take credit for it in the meeting this afternoon. He is. I want to be in that meeting. Diana looked at me. You sure? I'm sure. You've been through a lot. You don't have to do this today. Yes, I do. This is the right moment. Diana smiled. It was small. It was careful. Okay, she said. You're in the meeting. I nodded. I walked back to my office. I sat at my desk. I pulled up the contract. I read through it one more time. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to hand Clive the folder. I was going to ask him to read it out loud. I was going to watch his face turn white. I was going to make sure everyone in the room knew exactly who'd written the report. He thought he was going to take something from me. He thought he could. He was wrong. I closed the contract. The meeting was at 3. I looked at my watch. 7 hours. I had time. I looked across the street, out my window, to the building across the parking lot. The building where Mark worked. The building where he'd called the front desk twice. He was in there. He was waiting. He was filing for divorce. I thought about him. About his daughters. About his house. I thought about my house. My son. My marriage. I thought about what I was going to do next. He thought I'd cry. I handed him the termination order. The meeting was at 3. I knew the conference room. 4th floor, corner office, glass walls. I'd been in there 50 times. I knew where the chairs were, where the coffee station was, where the whiteboard was. I knew the way Clive stood at the head of the table, hands on his hips, like he owned the room. I knew the way he cleared his throat before he spoke, like he needed everyone to know he was about to say something important. I knew him better than I wanted to. At 2:40, I walked to the copy room. I made 3 copies of the Hanover contract. Diana's notes. Clive's signature. The approval page with my name on it. I clipped them together. I put them in a folder. I carried the folder to the conference room. The room was empty. I set the folder on the table. I sat in the chair closest to the door. I waited. People filed in. The senior partners. The junior associates. The assistants with their laptops and their water bottles. They sat around the table. They nodded at me. Some of them knew what had happened at the restaurant. Some of them didn't. I could tell which ones by the looks on their faces. The ones who knew were careful with me. The ones who didn't were normal. I didn't care about any of them. Clive walked in last. He was 58, silver hair, expensive watch, shoes that cost more than my mortgage. He sat at the head of the table. He opened his laptop. He didn't look at me. We went through the agenda. The quarterly numbers. The client updates. The new business. The usual stuff. I sat there and listened. I waited. Then Clive said, "Next item. The Hanover project. I've prepared a summary of the analysis I conducted over the past month. I've submitted it to the partners for review." He paused. He looked around the room. "The project was complex," he said. "Required extensive market research and financial modeling. I oversaw the work myself. Made sure it was accurate. Made sure it was thorough." The client was impressed. I sat still. "I want to thank my team for their support," Clive said. "Everyone contributed. But I want to be clear, the lead analysis and the final recommendations were mine." He nodded at the room. He looked satisfied. I stood up. "Clive." He looked at me. "Elena." "Yes. I want to say something." He smiled. He didn't know. He thought I was going to thank him. He thought I was going to congratulate him. "Of course," he said. "You were involved in the supporting work. You should have a moment." I opened my folder. I pulled out the contract. I held it up. "This is the Hanover contract," I said. "Signed by Clive. Approved by Clive. The signatures are dated 5 weeks ago." Clive's smile flickered. "Yes, I approved it." That's what I said. "The approval page," I said, "is attached to the contract. But the contract itself is 30 pages long. The analysis is in those 30 pages. I wrote it." The room went quiet. "Clive didn't conduct this analysis," I said. "He didn't conduct the research. He didn't do the financial modeling. He didn't write the recommendations. I did. I wrote every word. I worked on it for 3 weeks." Clive submitted a file with his name on it. He submitted it as his own. Clive stood up. That's not accurate." I held up the folder. "This is the original. This is the version I submitted to Diana. The one with my name on it. The one with my notes. The one with the revisions I made. It matches the final contract word for word." I turned to Diana. Diana has a copy of my submission. She has the date stamp from my email. She has the email chain where Clive asked me to do the work. Diana nodded. She didn't say anything. She didn't need to. Clive's face was red. "This is inappropriate. You're disrupting the meeting." "I'm not disrupting anything. I'm correcting the record. You can't just." "I can. And I am." I walked around the table. I set the folder in front of him. "Read it," I said. "Read the contract. Read the notes. Read my name. Then tell me you wrote it. He opened his mouth. Closed it. I think we're done here, I said. I turned to the room. I'm sorry for the interruption. But I wanted everyone to know the truth. Clive took credit for my work. He thought he could get away with it. He's wrong. I walked back to my chair. I sat down. I looked at Clive. He didn't say anything. He just stood there, his hands on the table, his face a shade of purple I'd never seen before. The senior partners looked at him. Then at me. Then at the folder. We'll need to look into this, one of them said. Please do, I said. The meeting went on. I sat there. I listened. I didn't say another word. When the meeting ended, I walked out. I went to my office. I closed the door. I sat at my desk. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. I put them flat on the desk. I breathed. I'd done it. I'd told the truth in front of everyone. I'd watched Clive's face crumble. I'd done it without yelling, without crying, without losing control. I was proud of myself. I could feel it, deep in my chest. Pride. I hadn't felt it in a long time. At 5, I left the office. I walked to my car. I drove home. The house was dark. Tom's car was gone. The suitcase was gone. The house was empty. I went inside. I walked to the living room. I sat on the sofa. I didn't turn on the lights. I didn't turn on the television. I just sat there in the dark. I thought about Clive. About his face. About the way he'd looked at me like I'd betrayed him. Like he was the victim. I thought about Tom. About the way he'd looked at me when I told him to leave. Like he couldn't believe I'd actually do it. I thought about Rebecca. About her spin class. About her yoga pants and her silver Subaru. I thought about Mark. I didn't want to think about Mark. But I did. I thought about the way he'd sat on my porch. The way he'd said he was filing for divorce. The way he'd looked at me like we were on the same side. I didn't want to be on anyone's side. I got up. I walked to the kitchen. I poured a glass of water. I drank it. My phone buzzed. Diana. Hey, I said. Elena. That was incredible. Clive was sputtering. The partners are already talking. They're going to investigate. He's probably going to be demoted. I don't care about that. I know. But I thought you'd want to know. Thanks. Are you okay? I'm okay. Are you really okay? I looked at the dark kitchen. At the empty house. At the glass of water in my hand. I don't know, I said. I think I'm becoming okay. But I'm not there yet. That's fine. That's more than fine. You did something brave today. You should be proud of yourself. I am. Good. We hung up. I stood in the kitchen. I thought about Clive. I thought about Tom. I thought about the two of them, both trying to take something from me, both trying to make me smaller. I was done being smaller. I went to the spare room. I opened my laptop. I started searching. Divorce attorneys. Separation agreements. Property division. I read articles. I read blogs. I read testimonials. I wrote down names. I made a list. I picked one. A woman. 52. Specialized in high-asset divorces. 27 years of experience. I sent an email. Dear Ms. Reeves, my name is Elena. I'm looking for representation in a divorce case. My husband and I have been married for 22 years. We have one son, 18. Our assets are complicated. I need someone who can help me navigate this. I want to do this correctly. I want to do this thoroughly. Please let me know if you're available for a consultation. Thank you. I hit send. I closed the laptop. I lay on the bed. I stared at the ceiling. I thought about Tom. About the wedding. About the first house. About the nights we'd stayed up talking, the mornings we'd woken up together, the years we'd built something I thought would last forever. He'd broken it. He'd broken it, and he hadn't even noticed. I closed my eyes. At 10, my phone buzzed. Tom. Hello. Elena. I need to talk to you. Talk. I'm at the hotel. I've been thinking. About what about us? About everything. About what I did. I don't want to hear it. Please. No, Tom. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about how sorry you are. I don't want to hear about how you made a mistake. I don't want to hear about how you're going to fix it. Elena, I just want to explain. I told you. You can't explain it. There's no explanation that makes this okay. I know there isn't. But I want to try. Why? Because I love you. No, you don't. I do, Elena. I still love you. I never stopped loving you. Just what? He was quiet. Just what? Tom, just what? You were lonely, you were bored, she made you feel something. What is it? What's the reason? I don't have a reason. Then stop trying to give me one. He was quiet again. I could hear him breathing. I need to see you, he said. No. Please. No. I just need to see you face to face. I need to say this in person. Then say it on the phone. It's not the same. It's the same. It's the same words. The same excuses. The same you. Elena, I'm begging you. I took a breath. I held it. Fine, I said. Tomorrow. 10 o'clock. At the house. You have 10 minutes. Thank you. I'll be there. Don't thank me. I hung up. I lay back down. I stared at the ceiling. 10 minutes. I could give him 10 minutes. I could sit there and listen to him apologize, and then I could tell him I was done. I'd done it before. With Clive. With the meeting. I'd told him I was done. I could do it again. I woke up at 7. Shower. Coffee. Clothes. I dressed like I was going to work. Tailored blazer. Flat shoes. Hair pulled back. I wanted to look like I had my life together. I wanted him to see me and know I was fine. I sat in the living room. I waited. At 10, the doorbell rang. I opened the door. Tom was standing there. He looked worse than he'd looked 2 days ago. His eyes were bloodshot. His shirt was wrinkled. He'd lost weight already, or maybe it was just the way he was standing, folded in on himself. Come in, I said. He walked in. He stood in the living room. He looked around. Everything's different, he said. Everything is different. Where did the picture go? The one of Leo. I took it down. Why? Because I didn't want to look at it. Elena, you can't just 10 minutes, I said. Start talking. He looked at me. He looked lost. I've been at the hotel for 2 nights, he said. I haven't slept. I haven't eaten. I haven't done anything except think. Think about what? Think about how I got here. How I did this. How I destroyed everything. Okay, I know you don't want to hear this. I know you're angry. But I need you to understand something. I never meant for this to happen. It started as a mistake. A stupid mistake. And then it got out of control. How? I don't know. I just kept making the wrong choice. Over and over. And then it was too late. I couldn't undo it. Couldn't or didn't both. He stopped. He pressed his hands together. Both. I repeated. I know. I know that doesn't make it better. It doesn't. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve that. I'm just asking you to understand. I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. And I've lost everything because of it. No, you haven't. I have. I lost you. I lost Leo. I lost my house. You lost a lot of things. But not everything. You still have a job. You still have money. You still have a hotel room. You still have Rebecca. I don't have Rebecca. Don't you? I ended it. Before the restaurant. Before you found out. I ended it. Did you? Yes. I told her I couldn't do it anymore. I told her it was over. When 3 weeks ago. Around the time I took the test. 3 weeks ago. Yes. Then why did you take the test? He looked at me. He didn't understand the question. Leo was born 18 years ago, I said. You didn't take the test for Leo. You took it because of the baby. James. You took it because you wanted to see if your child across the street was yours. I took it because my dad, your dad, Robert, he told you Leo didn't look like you. He made you doubt. And you went and got a test to prove him wrong. That's the only reason. Elena, is it true or not? I don't know. Yes, you do. You know exactly why you took it. He didn't answer. 22 years, Tom, I said. 22 years of marriage. And you never doubted Leo until your father put it in your head. But you took the test anyway. You took it without telling me. You took it in secret. And when it came back positive, you just put it in your drawer. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell anyone. You just kept it there. I was going to tell you. No, you weren't. I was. No, you weren't. Because if you were going to tell me, you would have told me the same day. You would have come home and said, Elena, I did something stupid. I took a DNA test because my father made me doubt our son. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But you didn't. You hid it. I was ashamed. I know. You think that makes it better? No. It makes it worse. It means you knew it was wrong and you did it anyway. He sat down on the arm of the sofa. He put his head in his hands. I didn't move. I didn't go to him. I didn't touch him. I loved you, I said. For 19 years, I loved you without reservation. I never asked you to prove anything. I trusted you. I believed you. And then for 3 years, I loved you with doubt. I kept loving you even when I knew something was wrong. And for the last 3 weeks, I've been living with the certainty that you betrayed me. I know. You don't know. You don't know what it's like to live with that. To wake up every morning and know that the person you love is lying to you. To get up and make breakfast and sit across from him at the table and pretend everything is fine. I do know. I was the one lying. You don't know the feeling of being the one who doesn't know. He didn't answer. 10 minutes is up, I said. Elena, please. Please what? Please give you more time. Please forgive you. Please let you move back in. Yes. All of it. Look at me. He looked up. I'm not doing this, I said. I'm not going to sit here and let you apologize your way back into my life. You left. You left years ago. You just didn't tell me. I never left. You did. You were at the gym. You were at her house. You were at the lab. You were everywhere except here. With me. He opened his mouth. Closed it. I walked to the front door. I opened it. I want you to leave, I said. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. Go back to the hotel. Go back to her. Go back to your parents. Just go. He stood up. He walked to the door. He stopped in the doorway. I'm not going to give up on us, he said. I'm not asking you to give up. I'm asking you to leave. I can't leave you. I can't just walk away. Yes, you can. You already did. You just didn't tell me. I closed the door behind him. I leaned against it. I breathed. My heart was beating fast. My hands were shaking. I didn't cry. I walked to the kitchen. I poured a glass of water. I drank it. I thought about what he'd said. About not giving up. About not walking away. He'd already walked away. He'd walked away 2 years ago. He'd walked away every time he'd gone to the gym. Every time he'd gone to her house. Every time he'd lied. He'd been gone for a long time. I was just the last one to notice. I went to my laptop. I opened my email. A reply from Ms. Reeves. Dear Elena, thank you for your email. I'm available for a consultation this Friday at 3. Please bring any relevant financial documents. I look forward to meeting you. I wrote back. I'll be there. Thank you. I closed the laptop. I looked around the house. The living room. The kitchen. The hallway. The stairs. Everything was the same. Everything was exactly the way it had been for 20 years. I was going to leave it. I was going to leave all of it. I walked to the kitchen table. I picked up the phone. I called Sarah. Hey, I said. Is Leo there? He's here. Do you want to talk to him? Yes. A pause. Then Leo's voice. Mom, hey. How are you doing? I'm okay. I'm at Sarah's. She's been feeding me. It's been nice. I'm glad. Can I come home? Not yet. Mom, I can't stay at Sarah's forever. I know. But I don't want you to see your father. I don't want to see him either. Then don't. He's not coming back to the house. I'm going to be there. We can stay there together. Just us. But I need another day. I need to get things ready. Get things ready for what? Just things. I'll tell you when I see you. Mom, what's going on? I'm going to leave, Leo. I'm going to leave the house. I'm going to leave your father. I'm going to start over. He was quiet for a long time. Okay, he said. Okay, I knew you were going to. I just didn't know when. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. It's the right thing. Are you going to be okay? I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be better than okay. I'm going to be fine. Good. I love you. I love you too. He hung up. I stood in the kitchen. The sun was setting. The light was orange and red and gold. I walked to the front door. I stepped outside. I sat on the porch. Mark was in his driveway. He was putting something in his car. A suitcase. A bag. He saw me. He walked over. I'm leaving, he said. I filed the papers this morning. I'm taking the girls to my sister's house for a few days. That's good. Rebecca wasn't happy. She said I was overreacting. She said I was making everything worse. What did you say? I said she'd already made everything worse. I was just cleaning up the mess. I nodded. What about you? He asked. I'm going to leave too. I'm going to sell the house. Are you going to file Friday? I have a consultation. Good. We stood there. I'm sorry, he said. Don't be sorry. I mean it. I'm sorry this happened to you. It happened to both of us. He nodded. Yeah, it did. He walked back to his car. He got in. He pulled out of the driveway. I watched him go. You stood up in that restaurant to hurt me, I said. You made yourself the audience. Now watch the show. I spent Thursday packing. Not the whole house, not yet, just the things I couldn't live without. Clothes. Books. Photographs. The small porcelain bird my grandmother had given me when I was 12. Leo's baby blanket, the one with the frayed edges, and the stain I'd never been able to wash out. The ring my mother had given me on my wedding day, the one with the tiny sapphire that I'd never worn because it didn't match anything. I filled 3 boxes. I taped them shut. I wrote my name on the side. I called a storage unit. I reserved it for 6 months. I paid with my credit card. I called my mother. I'm coming to stay with you for a while. Is that okay, Elena? Of course. You can stay as long as you need. I need a few weeks. Maybe longer. Take whatever you need. Thank you. Elena. What, you're doing the right thing. I want you to know that. Thank you. I'm proud of you. I hung up. I walked through the house one more time. The kitchen where I'd cooked thousands of meals. The dining room where we'd hosted hundreds of dinners. The living room where I'd watched Leo grow up. The backyard where I'd planted roses that never bloomed. I wasn't going to miss it. I thought I would. I thought there would be some part of me that wanted to stay. But there wasn't. I wanted to leave. I called Sarah. I'm coming to get Leo tomorrow. Can you tell him to be ready? He's ready. He's been ready. Good. Elena. What are you going to do? I'm going to stay with my mother. I'm going to sell the house. I'm going to get a divorce. All of it. All of it. Good for you. I hung up. The phone rang. Robert. I didn't answer. It rang again. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Elena. It's Robert. I need to speak with you. I want to apologize. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Please call me back. I deleted the message. I drove to the grocery store. I bought bread and cheese and a bottle of wine. I came home. I ate. I drank half the bottle. I went to bed. I didn't sleep. Friday morning. I woke up at 6. I showered. I dressed. I drove to the office. I had a meeting with Diana at 9. She wanted to talk about the Hanover contract. Clive had been put on probation. His bonus had been frozen. The partners were considering termination. He's furious, Diana said. He's been walking around the office like someone killed his dog. He's been telling people you sabotaged him. I didn't sabotage him. I just told the truth. That's what sabotage looks like to him. I don't care. Good. You shouldn't. Diana leaned back in her chair. They're also considering promoting you. Senior Vice President. They want to wait until Clive's situation is resolved. But they're thinking about it. I don't need a promotion. I know. But I thought you'd want to know. Thanks. How are you feeling? I'm fine. No, you're not. I'm fine, Diana. I'm better than fine. I'm getting a divorce. I'm moving out. I'm starting over. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. She smiled. That's not fine. That's something else. What is it? Freedom. I smiled back. Yeah, maybe that's it. At noon, I left the office. I drove to my mother's house. She was waiting on the porch. She hugged me. She didn't cry. She didn't ask questions. She just hugged me. The guest room is ready, she said. I put fresh sheets on the bed. I made your favorite pie. Thank you. Are you hungry? No. Do you want to sit down? Not yet. I need to go get Leo. Okay. I'll be here when you get back. I drove to Sarah's house. Leo was sitting on the front steps with a duffel bag. He stood up when he saw me. He walked to the car. He got in. Hey, he said. Hey. We didn't say anything for a while. I drove. He stared out the window. Where are we going? He asked. To Grandma's. Just Grandma's for now. I'm going to get an apartment. Somewhere close to the office. I need to figure out a few things first. Can I come? Yes. You can come. You're always welcome. Even if I'm 18 and I should be on my own even then. He nodded. I talked to Dad, he said. Or when yesterday. He called me. He wanted to apologize. What did you say? I said I wasn't ready to talk to him. I said I'd call him when I was ready. That's good. He cried. I'm sure he did. Mom. What? He said he wants to try to fix things. He said he's going to therapy. He said he's going to change. He said a lot of things. I know. I don't believe him. I don't either. But I don't hate him. I looked at him. You don't have to hate him. You don't have to feel anything you don't want to feel. I just don't know what to feel. That's okay. You don't have to know. We drove in silence for a while. I pulled into my mother's driveway. I turned off the car. Leo, I said. What? I'm going to file for divorce this afternoon. I'm seeing a lawyer at 3. I'm going to leave your father. I'm going to sell the house. I'm going to start over. I know. I wanted you to hear it from me. Thanks. I love you. I love you too. We got out of the car. We walked into my mother's house. She hugged Leo. She fed us pie. We sat at the table and she asked us questions about everything except what had happened. She asked about school, about friends, about the future. It was normal. It felt normal. I didn't know how long it would last. But I was grateful for it. At 2:30 I left. I drove to the lawyer's office. Ms. Reeves was a small woman with short gray hair and glasses on a chain. She had a calm voice and a steady gaze. She asked me questions for 2 hours. Financial questions. Property questions. Personal questions. I answered all of them. You have a strong case, she said. Your husband has been unfaithful. He has a child with another woman. There's documentation. The DNA test. The restaurant. Witnesses. You're entitled to a significant portion of the marital assets. I don't want to destroy him. I'm not suggesting you destroy him. I'm suggesting you get what you're owed. What am I owed? Half the house. Half the retirement accounts. Half the savings. Alimony, given the length of the marriage. You can negotiate. But you shouldn't take less than you're entitled to. I won't. Good. I'll file the papers on Monday. I'll have them served to him at his hotel. Will he be surprised? Probably. But that's not my problem. No, it's not. I signed the papers. I shook her hand. I left. The parking lot was empty. I got in my car. I sat there for a long time. I'd done it. I'd filed for divorce. I'd started the process. There was no going back. I drove to the house. I needed to get the rest of my things. I'd left a few boxes in the spare room. I wanted them tonight. The house was dark. I walked in. I turned on the lights. My heart stopped. Tom was sitting on the sofa. Tom. Elena. What are you doing here? Waiting for you. I told you to leave. I know. But I needed to see you. I stood in the doorway. My purse was still on my shoulder. My keys were still in my hand. I saw the lawyer, I said. I filed for divorce. The papers are going to be served to you on Monday. He didn't move. He just sat there. I know, he said. How do you know? I called your office. Diana told me. Diana told you. She said you'd been with a lawyer. She said you were serious. I am serious. I know. I walked to the kitchen. I set my purse on the counter. I turned around. I'm leaving tonight, I said. I'm going to my mother's. Leo is already there. I'm not coming back. Elena. No. Just listen to me. I've been listening to you for 22 years. I'm done listening. I know. I know. But I need to say something. You've had plenty of chances to say something. I know. I wasted them. I wasted all of them. He stood up. He walked to the kitchen. He stopped on the other side of the counter. I saw Rebecca today. I went to her house. I told her it was over. For good. I told her I was going to fix my marriage. I told her I was going to fight for you. Fight for me. Yes. You want to fight for me now. After 2 years of doing the exact opposite. Elena, please. Please what? Please forgive you. Please let you back and please pretend like none of this happened. No. Not pretend. I'm not asking you to pretend. I'm asking you to give me a chance. You had a chance. You had 22 years of chances. You had every single day to be the husband I deserved. You weren't. I know. You made your choice, Tom. You made it 100 times. Every time you went to her house, you made it. Every time you lied to me, you made it. Every time you took that test and hid the results, you made it. He didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He just stood there, looking at me, like he was waiting for something. Look at this house, I said. Look at the house we built together. The house where we raised our son. The house where I slept next to you for 19 years. And then look at what you did. You brought someone else into it. You brought her into our lives. You made her part of our family. I didn't mean to, you didn't mean to. That's your excuse. You didn't mean to. You didn't mean to hurt me. You didn't mean to lie. You didn't mean to have a child with the neighbor. None of it was intentional. It just happened. It just happened. Does that make you feel better? Does saying it just happened make it easier to live with? He shook his head. No. No, it doesn't. Then why do you keep saying it? I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Try the truth. I am. No, you're not. You're not telling me the truth. You're telling me the version of the truth that makes you feel less guilty. He looked at the floor. Tell me the truth, I said. Tell me why you stayed. Why you didn't leave. Why you kept coming home to me. Because I loved you. You don't love someone and do what you did. Elena, I did love you. I still love you. Then why? He looked up. Because I was weak. Weak. Yes. I wanted something I didn't deserve. I took it. And then I was too weak to stop. I wanted to. I tried to. But I was too weak. Too weak to stop. Yes. And now you want me to believe that you've changed. I don't know if I've changed. But I know I want to. I know I need to. Need to for who? For me. That was the first honest thing he'd said. I didn't say anything. I just looked at him. I need to change for me, he repeated. I've been lying to myself for years. I've been telling myself I was a good man. A good husband. A good father. But I wasn't. I was a coward. I was a liar. And I don't want to be that person anymore. Then don't be. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. It is that simple. You just have to make the choice. Every day. You have to choose to be honest. You have to choose to be faithful. You have to choose to be a good man. You've been choosing not to. I know. I'm going to leave now, I said. Where? I told you. My mother's house. Elena, don't go. I have to go. Can I call you? No. Can I see you? Not yet. When? I don't know. I walked to the spare room. I picked up the boxes. I carried them to the door. Tom was still standing in the kitchen. He didn't follow me. I'm going to sell this house, I said. I know. I'm going to take half of everything. I know. I'm not trying to destroy you. I'm trying to build something new. Are you going to be happy? I looked at him. I don't know. He nodded. I hope you are, he said. I hope you're happy. Don't say that. Why not? Because it sounds like you're giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm letting you go. I set down the boxes. I walked to the door. Goodbye, Tom. Goodbye, Elena. I walked out. I got in the car. I put the boxes in the back seat. I sat there for a moment. I looked at the house. The house we'd lived in. The house we'd built. The house I was leaving behind. I drove to my mother's house. It was dark when I got there. Leo was in the living room, watching television. My mother was in the kitchen, making tea. Hi, I said. Hi, Leo said. How are you? I'm okay. Just okay, yeah. Just okay. That's fine. He looked at me. Are you okay? I'm better than I was this morning. Good. I sat down next to him. We watched television. I didn't care what it was. I just wanted to be near him. Mom, he said. Yeah, I'm proud of you. I looked at him. What? I'm proud of you. For doing this. For leaving. For standing up for yourself. Thank you. I mean it. I know. I know you do. We sat there. My mother walked in with a cup of tea. She set it down next to me. Are you staying? She asked. Yes. For how long? I don't know. That's okay. She sat down in her chair. We all sat there. The three of us. In the house where I'd grown up. I thought about Tom. I thought about the house I'd left. I thought about the papers I'd signed. I thought about the future. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know where I was going to live, or what I was going to do, or how I was going to feel. But I knew I was going to be okay. I looked at my mother. I looked at Leo. I wasn't alone. I'd never been alone. I just hadn't realized it. I took a sip of tea. It was warm. It was sweet. Tomorrow, I said, I'm going to look at apartments. Good, my mother said. Can I come? Leo asked. Yes. You can come. Even if I complain about everything even then. He smiled. The first real smile I'd seen in days. I smiled back. We watched television until it was late. I went to bed. I slept. I didn't dream. Saturday morning. I woke up early. I showered. I dressed. I made coffee. Leo was still asleep. My mother was in the garden. I walked outside. The air was cool. The sun was rising. I thought about the house. The one I'd left. The one I was going to sell. I thought about the money I was going to get from it. The half I was going to take. The life I was going to build. I thought about Tom. About the look on his face when I'd left. About the way he'd said goodbye. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I was just done. I walked to the garden. My mother was kneeling in the dirt, pulling weeds. Good morning, she said. Good morning. Did you sleep? Yes. That's good. She stood up. She brushed the dirt off her knees. Are you going to be okay? She asked. Yes. Are you sure? I'm sure. She nodded. She went back to her weeds. I sat on the porch. I watched the sun rise. My phone buzzed. Mark. Hey, I said. Hey. How are you? I'm okay. How are you? I'm okay. The girls are okay. We're staying with my sister for a while. It's good. Good. Elena, I need to tell you something. What? I found something. In the house. In Rebecca's things. What? A letter. From your husband. A letter he wrote to her. I didn't say anything. It's not a love letter, Mark said. It's a breakup letter. He wrote it 3 weeks ago. He told her it was over. He told her he was going to tell you everything. He told her he loved you and he was going to fix things. He told her that. Yeah, he did. I read it. I know I shouldn't have. But I found it and I read it. What did it say? He said he was sorry. He said he'd made a terrible mistake. He said he couldn't see her anymore. He said he needed to be a better man. He said all of that. Yeah. I sat on the porch. The sun was bright. The air was warm. Did you know? Mark asked. About the letter? No. He meant it, Elena. He meant it. He was trying. I know. I know he was trying. But trying isn't enough. I know. Thank you for telling me. I thought you should know. Yeah. I needed to know. We hung up. I sat on the porch. I thought about the letter. I thought about Tom writing it. I thought about him meaning it. It didn't change anything. It didn't undo what he'd done. It didn't fix the marriage. But it meant something. It meant he'd tried. It meant he'd known he was wrong. I didn't know if that made it better or worse. I called the realtor. I listed the house. She said I could get a showing as early as Monday. I said fine. I went inside. Leo was awake. He was eating cereal at the table. Hey, I said. Hey. I listed the house. Good. We're going to look at apartments later today. Okay. I sat across from him. He looked at me. Are you really okay? He asked. Yeah. I think I am. Good. Yeah. We finished our cereal. We got in the car. We drove to the first apartment. It was small. 1 bedroom. A kitchen with old cabinets. A bathroom with a pink tub. This is terrible, Leo said. It's not terrible. It's just old. It's terrible. We went to the second apartment. 2 bedrooms. New paint. A view of the parking lot. This one's okay, Leo said. Just okay. Yeah. Just okay. We went to the third apartment. 2 bedrooms. A balcony. A view of the city. I like this one, I said. It's nice. I can afford it. Then get it. I called the landlord. I signed the lease. I had a new place. A new start. I drove Leo back to my mother's house. I went to the storage unit. I picked up my boxes. I moved into the apartment. It was empty. It was silent. It was mine. I sat on the floor. I looked around. I was going to be okay. She said I could file for abandonment grounds. I said no. I just wanted everything he thought I'd never take. The apartment stayed empty for 3 days. Not the kind of empty that felt lonely. The kind that felt like waiting. I sat on the floor with my boxes and I didn't unpack them. I just sat there and looked at the walls and listened to the sounds of the building. Someone above me had a dog that barked at night. Someone below me played music at noon. The elevator hummed. The pipes clinked. It was the most alive I'd felt in months. Leo came over on Monday. He brought pizza and a six-pack of soda and a duffel bag full of his things. Grandma said I could stay, he said. If it's okay with you. It's okay with me. She said I should give you space. But I don't think you need space. I think you need company. Your grandmother is smart. But you're smarter. He grinned. It was the same grin he'd had since he was a kid. I'd forgotten about it. I'd been so focused on everything else that I'd forgotten the way his face lit up when he was happy. Where should I put my stuff? He asked. There's a closet in the hall. Use it. He disappeared. I heard him opening the closet, sliding the hangers, zipping his duffel bag. Normal sounds. Domestic sounds. The sounds of someone living. He came back. We sat on the floor. We ate pizza. The apartment's nice, he said. Better than the second one. The second one was terrible. It was terrible. The bathrooms smelled like feet. Feet like feet. I don't know how to describe it. But it smelled like feet. We laughed. It was the first time I'd laughed in a week. It felt strange, like my body remembered how to do it even if my brain had forgotten. Can I ask you something? Leo said. Sure. Are you going to be okay with money, with the apartment and everything? I'm going to be fine. I have my job. I have savings. The house is going to sell. I'll get half. Half of what? Half of everything. The house. The retirement accounts. The savings. The lawyer said I'm entitled to it. Is Dad going to fight it? He might. But he doesn't have a leg to stand on. He had an affair. He had a child. He lied. The evidence is there. If he fights it, he's going to lose. Good. Leo. What? Your father is still your father. You don't have to hate him just because I do. I don't hate him. I just don't respect him. Respect is harder to get back. Yeah, it is. We finished the pizza. We cleaned up. We watched television on my laptop, propped against a box. I'm going to look for a job tomorrow, Leo said. A job? Yeah. I'm 18. I should be working. I should be saving for school. School doesn't start for months. I know. But I want to do something. I don't want to just sit around. Okay. What kind of job? Anything. Maybe at a bookstore. Or a coffee shop. Something where I can be around people. People are good. People are good. He went to the closet and pulled out a sleeping bag. He unrolled it on the floor. I'll get a couch tomorrow, I said. And a real bed. We're not going to sleep on the floor forever. The floor's fine. It's not fine. But it's temporary. Temporary is fine. He got into the sleeping bag. He closed his eyes. Mom. Yeah, I'm glad you left. I looked at him. I'm glad, he said. I'm glad you left him. I'm glad you didn't stay. Me too. Good night. Good night. He fell asleep. I sat there, watching him, listening to him breathe. He looked younger when he was asleep. Like the years hadn't happened yet. Like he was still the little boy who used to climb into bed with us after nightmares. I closed my eyes. Tuesday morning. I woke up on the floor. My back hurt. My neck hurt. I didn't care. I went to work. Diana met me at the door. Clive is gone, she said. Gone. Terminated. They voted yesterday. He's packing his office. Does he know he knows? He's been crying. I think he's trying to figure out how to tell his wife. His wife, he has a wife, Elena. 2 kids. They're going to have to move. I didn't feel sorry for him. I didn't feel anything. He did it to himself, I said. I know. I just thought you should know. Thanks. I went to my office. I sat at my desk. I looked at the things I'd accumulated over 16 years. Photos. Mementos. Awards. The frame certificate from my first big project. The mug Leo had painted for me in 4th grade. I started packing. Diana was at the door. What are you doing? I'm leaving. Leaving? I'm going to get a new job. A new office. A new building. Somewhere I'm not known as the woman whose husband had a baby with the neighbor. Elena, nobody thinks that about you. They don't have to think it. I think it. I need to start somewhere fresh. Somewhere I can be just myself. Diana nodded slowly. Okay. I understand. I'll give you 2 weeks. You don't have to. You can leave today. I want to give 2 weeks. I want to finish the projects I started. Okay. I kept packing. Friday. The lawyer called. The papers were served. He's been notified. He has 30 days to respond. Did he fight? Not yet. He called my office. He said he wanted to talk to you. He said he'd settle. He said he'd settle. He said he'd sign whatever you wanted. He said he didn't want to make this harder than it already is. Good. Tell him I'll have my demands by Monday. The house is listed. There's an offer. An offer full price. The buyer wants to close in 30 days. 30 days. They're motivated. I hung up. I stood in the empty apartment. The boxes were still unopened. Leo was at work, at the coffee shop down the street. He'd gotten the job. He was making minimum wage. He was happy. I was happy for him. I called Mark. Hey, I said. How are you? I'm okay. The girls are with me. Rebecca moved out. She's staying with her sister. How are the girls? They're confused. They're sad. But they're okay. They're going to be okay. Are you going to get divorced? Yeah. I filed. Good. Elena. I heard you got an offer on the house. I did. Full price. That's great. It is. I'm selling too. I'm moving to a smaller house. Close to the girls' school. Something affordable. That's great. We were quiet for a moment. I'm sorry this happened, he said. Don't be. I mean it. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry too. Where are you going to live? I have an apartment. It's small. But it's mine. That's good. Mark. What? I'm glad you called me. That day. I'm glad you came over. Me too. We hung up. I sat on the floor. The sun was setting. The light was orange and pink and gold. I called my mother. Hi, honey. Hi, Mom. How are you? I'm okay. The house sold. Full price. I'm going to get half of everything. That's wonderful. It is. Elena, I'm so proud of you. Thank you. When are you coming over for dinner? Saturday. I'll bring Leo. I'll make pie. I love you. I love you too. I hung up. I opened a box. I started unpacking. Clothes. Books. Photographs. The porcelain bird. The baby blanket. The ring I'd never worn. I put them on the shelves I'd bought at the hardware store. I hung them on the walls. I made the apartment mine. Leo came home. He looked exhausted. A long day, so many lattes, he said. I smell like coffee. That's not a bad thing. Maybe not. He sat on the floor. Mom, he said. I got a call from Dad. I stopped. What did he say? He wants to have dinner. Dinner. Yeah, just the two of us. He said he wanted to talk to me. What did you say? I said yes. I nodded. I'd expected it. He'd needed to do this. When Saturday. He's picking me up at 6. Okay. Mom, is that okay? It's okay. You should see him. You should talk to him. Do you hate him? I don't hate him, Leo. I'm just done. Done. That's a different thing. He nodded. Are you going to be okay? He asked. I'm going to be fine. Are you? I think so. Good. He went to the bathroom. I heard the water running. I heard him brushing his teeth. I sat on the floor. I looked around the apartment. The shelves. The boxes. The light from the window. I was going to be okay. Saturday. Robert called. Elena. Please. I need to see you. Why? To apologize. To make things right. You can't make things right. I know. But I need to try. I'm busy. Please. Just 10 minutes. I'll come to you. I thought about it. I thought about the restaurant. The glass. The words. The way he'd looked at me like I was nothing. Fine, I said. Tomorrow. 2 o'clock. My apartment. I'll be there. He hung up. Sunday. 2 o'clock. The doorbell rang. Robert was standing there. He looked old. Older than he'd looked at the restaurant. His face was gray. His hands were shaking. Come in, I said. He walked in. He stood in the middle of the room. Your apartment is nice, he said. It's small. It's nice. Did you come here to talk about my apartment? No. I came to apologize. Then apologize. He looked at me. I was wrong. At the restaurant. I was completely wrong. I should never have said what I said. I should never have done what I did. You said you were being honest. I was being cruel. I was cruel and I didn't see it. You were cruel to my son. Yes. You were cruel to me. Yes. You were cruel to everyone. I know. I'm sorry. You're sorry. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry. I looked at him. Why did you do it? Because I was angry. Angry at Tom. At what he'd done. At what he was doing. And I took it out on you. You took it out on me because you were too much of a coward to take it out on him. Yes. Then why didn't you just talk to him? Because I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to know. But you knew. You knew he was having an affair. You must have known. He nodded. I suspected. I saw things. The way he looked at her. The way he talked about her. The way he was always gone. You suspected. I suspected. But I didn't want to believe it. So you blamed me. I blamed you. I don't know why. It was easier than blaming him. It was easier to think that you'd done something wrong. That you'd been unfaithful. That Leo wasn't his. It was easier than admitting the truth. The truth being that your son was unfaithful. The truth being that I raised a liar. I didn't say anything. I'm sorry, he said. I know it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't undo anything. But I wanted to say it. Thank you. That's it. You apologized. I accepted it. Are you going to forgive me? I don't know yet. Maybe someday. Not today. He nodded. He looked at the floor. I'll leave, he said. I'll walk you out. He left. I closed the door behind him. I didn't forgive him. I didn't hate him. I just didn't care. That was the thing. I'd stopped caring about the people who'd hurt me. I'd stopped letting them into my head. My heart. My life. I was free. Monday. The lawyer called. He signed everything. The settlement is done. The money is being transferred. The money. The house. The retirement accounts. The savings. Half of everything. That's it. Good. The divorce will be final in 60 days. Good. I hung up. I stood in my apartment. The boxes were open. The shelves were full. The apartment was mine. I called Leo. He signed. The divorce is going to be final in 60 days. Are you okay? I'm better than okay. Good. I hung up. I looked around the apartment. The sun was setting. The light was orange and pink and gold. I sat on my couch. The new couch. The one I'd bought with my own money. The one that didn't have Tom's smell on it. I sat there and I breathed. I thought about the restaurant. The packed room. The glass. The copies. The waiter handing them out like menus. I thought about Margaret. The water in Robert's face. I thought about Leo. Walking out. I thought about Tom. Apologizing. Trying. I thought about Mark. Filing for divorce. Leaving. I thought about Rebecca. The baby. James. I thought about Robert. Apologizing. I thought about me. I got up. I walked to the window. I looked at the city. The lights. The buildings. The people. I was one of them now. I was no one special. I was just someone who'd been through something and survived. That was enough. She said I could file for abandonment grounds. I said no. I just wanted everything he thought I'd never take. I sat in the apartment for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of unpacking boxes I'd been ignoring. 2 weeks of grocery shopping and cooking meals for myself and Leo. 2 weeks of walking past the windows and looking at the sky and not thinking about Tom. Not anymore. The 60-day clock started running. The money hit my account. The house had a closing date. I bought a rug. A real one with colors that made me feel something. I hung a photograph of my mother on the wall. I framed a picture of Leo from his 8th grade graduation. I put my grandmother's bird on the shelf where I could see it from the couch. It was a home. A small one. A clean one. A home that didn't have any lies in the walls. Mark called once a week. Nothing deep. Just checking in. How are the girls? I'd ask. They're okay, he'd say. How's Leo? He's okay. We were 2 people who'd survived the same disaster, and we didn't need to explain it to each other. We just needed to know the other person was still standing. I was standing. I started looking for a new job. Nothing serious. Just browsing. I had savings. I had the settlement. I didn't need to rush. But I wanted to move. To a smaller firm, maybe. Something with less drama. Something where nobody knew my name. Diana gave me a recommendation. 3 of them, actually. She said I was the best she'd ever worked with, and she meant it. I could hear it in her voice. Elena, you could run a company if you wanted to. I don't want to run a company. I just want to work. That's the same thing. Then I guess I'll figure it out. The phone rang on a Thursday. Tom. I'd known he'd call eventually. I'd known he wouldn't just let it end with the papers. Elena. Tom. I need to see you. You keep saying that. I know. But I need to see you. I need to say something to you face to face. I promise I'm not trying to change your mind. I just need to say it. When Saturday. At the house. The house isn't ours anymore. I know. I still have the keys. I've been cleaning it out. I want to show you something. Show me what, please. Just come. The house was supposed to close in a week. The new owners were waiting. Tom had been packing his things, I'd been told. He'd moved most of them to a small apartment on the other side of town. I didn't know where. I didn't care. Fine, I said. Saturday. 2 o'clock. I hung up. 2 o'clock came. I dressed carefully. The way I dressed when I had to be someone I wasn't sure I was yet. A blazer. Jeans. Boots. Hair down. I didn't want to look like I was trying. I didn't want to look like I'd given up. I drove to the house. It looked different. Smaller somehow. The paint was peeling. The shutters needed replacing. I'd lived here for 20 years and never noticed any of it. Tom was standing in the doorway. He watched me pull into the driveway. He waited. I got out. I walked toward him. Hi, he said. Hi. Come in. I followed him inside. The house was empty. Completely empty. The furniture was gone. The pictures were off the walls. The kitchen was bare. I could see the outline of where the table had been. The indentations in the carpet from the sofa. The holes in the walls where the nails had been. It's strange, I said. It's strange, he agreed. I've been here for 2 weeks. Just me and the boxes. I couldn't stand being in the apartment. It doesn't feel like anything. At least here I remember what it used to be. Used to be. Elena, I know you don't want to hear this. I know you've moved on. But I need to say something. Okay. Not the apology. Not the explanation. Something else. Then say it. He walked to the kitchen. He opened the cabinet under the sink. He pulled out a small wooden box. I recognized it. It was the box he'd kept his cufflinks in. The one I'd given him for our 10th anniversary. He opened it. He took out a piece of paper. Folded. Yellowed. Read this, he said. I took it. It was a letter. My handwriting. Dear Tom. I know we've only been married for a year, but I already know I'm going to love you for the rest of my life. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't wait to build a future with you. I can't wait to grow old with you. I can't wait to be your wife for the next 50 years. Love, Elena. I read it. I remembered writing it. It was his birthday. The first one we'd celebrated after we'd gotten married. I'd been so young. So sure of everything. Why did you keep this? I asked. Because I couldn't stop loving you. Tom. I know. I know I betrayed you. I know I broke everything. But I never stopped loving you. Not for a single day. I was weak and stupid and I threw it all away, but I never stopped loving you. I put the letter down on the counter. Tom, I don't know what you want me to say. I want you to know the truth. I want you to know that the part of me that loved you is real. It was never a lie. Everything else was a lie, but not that. Tom, I want you to know. I want you to believe it. Because I'm going to carry this for the rest of my life. The fact that I had someone who loved me like that, and I destroyed it. I want you to know that I know what I lost. I looked at him. His face was open. For the first time in years, it was open. No masks. No performance. Tom, what you did, I know. The way you made me feel, I know. I spent 2 years thinking I was the problem. 2 years telling myself that if I just tried harder, if I was better, if I was enough, you'd stay. And then I found out the truth. It wasn't me. It was never me. It wasn't you. I took a step back. You remember the first thing you said to me in this house? He looked at me. Confused. We bought this house, I said. We walked in for the first time. The realtor was showing us around. And when she left, you turned to me and you said something. Do you remember? His face changed. He remembered. I said, we can make this work. You said, we can make this work. Not, this is our home. Not, I love this place. Not, I love you. We can make this work. I didn't mean it like that. I know you didn't. But that's what you said. And I think I knew even then. I think I knew that you were always going to approach our marriage like it was something to be managed. Something to be survived. Something to be worked on. That's not true. It is true. And I didn't want to see it. Because I loved you. I loved you so much that I was willing to be managed. I was willing to be survived. I was willing to be something you worked on instead of something you cherished. Elena, that's not. Let me finish. He stopped. I loved you for 22 years, I said. I loved you when I didn't have to. I loved you when it was hard. I loved you when I was tired and scared and lonely, and I had no idea what was happening to us. I loved you when I should have stopped. I loved you when it was destroying me. That's not the problem. I took a breath. The problem was that I kept loving you after you stopped deserving it. He flinched. I saw it. The words hit him. I didn't care. I kept loving you when you weren't there. I kept loving you when you were lying to me. I kept loving you when you were someone else's. And I didn't stop until I held a piece of paper in my hand that proved, in black and white, that you had made me the fool. Elena, I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying it because you need to hear it. You need to understand. You were the one who left. You were the one who broke it. You were the one who made the choices. Not me. I was the one who finally noticed. He didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He just nodded. Okay, he said. Okay. Is that all you have to say? What else can I say? You're right. You're completely right. And I know I can't fix it. I know I can't undo it. I wanted you to know that I wasn't lying about loving you. Even if I was lying about everything else. I know. Elena, I'm going to be alone for a long time. I'm going to have to live with this. You will. And I'm okay with that. Because I deserve it. He was right. He did deserve it. And for a long time, that would have been enough for me. To see him suffer. To know he was paying for what he'd done. But it wasn't enough anymore. I looked at the letter. The one I'd written. The one he'd kept. The one that represented everything I'd given him, and everything he'd thrown away. Tom, I don't hate you. Elena, I don't. I thought I did. For a few days, I did. But I don't hate you. I just don't love you anymore. That's worse. No, it's not. It's the best thing I've ever done for myself. I walked to the door. I stopped at the threshold. Tom. Yeah. I'm not doing this because you hurt me. I'm doing this because I deserve better. Not better than you. Better than who I was when I was with you. He nodded. I walked out. The sun was bright. I stood on the porch of the house I'd lived in for 20 years. I'd walked out of it once before, the night of the restaurant. I'd walked out again, the night I'd left him. This time was different. This time I wasn't walking away from him. I was walking toward myself. I got in the car. I sat there. I didn't cry. I called my mother. It's over. Elena. Are you okay? I'm better than okay. Then come over. I made pie. Mom. What? Thank you. For what? For loving me. She was quiet for a long moment. Elena, I've loved you your whole life. And I'll love you for the rest of mine. You don't ever have to thank me for that. I know. But I wanted to. Come over. I will. I drove to my mother's house. She was on the porch. She was waiting. I parked the car. I walked up to her. Mom. Elena. She hugged me. I hugged her back. I didn't let go. I did it. I said. I knew you would. I told him the truth. The real truth. Not the angry truth. Not the hurt truth. The truth. What did you say? I pulled back. I looked at her. I told him I was done. Not because he hurt me. Because I was done being someone who let herself be hurt. She smiled. It was a sad smile, but a proud one. That's my girl, she said. We went inside. Leo was sitting at the table. He had a slice of pie in front of him. He looked up. Mom. Leo. Did you do it? I did it. He nodded. Good. It's not good, I said. It's just over. And over is good enough. He smiled. Yeah, over is good enough. I sat down. I had pie. I drank tea. The three of us sat there in the kitchen, like we'd done 1,000 times before. This time was different. This time I wasn't waiting. I wasn't watching the clock. I wasn't wondering when Tom would come home. This time I was just there. Just present. Just me. I stayed at my mother's house until midnight. Leo fell asleep on the couch. I covered him with a blanket. I walked to the door. I looked back at them. My mother. My son. The people who'd always been there. The people who'd never stopped loving me. Mom, I said. Yes, I'm going to be okay. I know you are. I went home. The apartment was quiet. The lights were off. I walked to the window. I looked at the city. I thought about the restaurant. The packed room. The glass. The words. I thought about the letter. The one I'd written. The one he'd kept. I thought about Tom. The face he'd made. The way he'd stood in the empty kitchen, holding a piece of paper, trying to prove to me that the love he'd felt was real. It was real. It had been real. And it had ended. That was okay. I went to the kitchen. I poured a glass of water. I drank it. I went to the bedroom. I sat on the bed. My bed. The one I'd bought with my own money. The one I'd chosen because I liked the way it looked. I looked at the shelf. The books. The photographs. The porcelain bird. I was building something. A life. A life that was mine. I lay down. I closed my eyes. I didn't dream. I woke up the next morning. The sun was coming through the blinds. I got up. I made coffee. I sat on the couch. I drank the coffee. I looked out the window. I thought about the future. The job I was going to find. The apartment I was going to fill. The things I was going to do. The person I was going to be. I didn't know any of it. But I knew I was going to be okay. My phone buzzed. Diana. Elena, I have a lead. A firm downtown. They're looking for a senior director. The pay is good. The hours are better. You'd have your own office. Send me the details. Done. Thank you. Thank you. I hung up. I went to the kitchen. I poured another cup of coffee. The apartment was silent. But it wasn't empty. It was full. Full of possibility. Full of me. I walked to the door. I put on my shoes. I grabbed my keys. I had things to do. I had an apartment to fill. I had a job to get. I had a life to live. I opened the door. I stepped outside. The sky was blue. The air was cool. I could hear the city waking up around me. I didn't look back. The waiter handed them out like menus. My mother-in-law threw water in his face. Robert was still standing, dripping, when I walked out the door. I walked out the door again. A different door, a different house, a different life. I walked out the door and I didn't look back. I closed the front door behind me. I walked to my car. I got in. I started the engine. I pulled out of the parking lot. I drove toward the city. Toward the new job. Toward the new life. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't need to know. I was going somewhere. And that was enough. I was free.